Hey everyone, it's Wita here. This episode of Wine with Wita, we will discuss mental health as well as suicide. This can be quite distressing for some of you, so I do encourage you to contact Lifeline on 13 11 14, which is a 24-hour counselling hotline, or go to beyondblue.org to obtain relevant resources that you may need. Please look after yourself. Hello, and welcome to Wine with Wita, the podcast that is dedicated to engaging with health professionals and caregivers in meaningful discussions. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, or as my clients call me, Wita. I'm a pediatric speech pathologist, and I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we deep dive into connecting you with caregivers and healthcare professionals, sharing their insights, stories, and key takeaways to help you with your child's diagnosis and your journey. Whether you are a parent, healthcare professional, a lifetime learner, or simply a wine enthusiast, you're in the right place. So let's sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very different episode of Wine with Wita. Today, I am bringing magic to the potty. And I have a guest you may have seen on your TV screens at home. His name is Magic Mike. Now, this isn't the whole stripper aspect of Magic Mike. It's Magic Mike. He's a magician by the name of Michael Webb. Welcome to Wine with Wita, Michael. How are you today?
Thank you, Wita. I'm great. To people, yeah, I'm calling you Wita. I'll mix it up.
That's okay. Everyone calls me Wita.
Perfect. I'm good, and I'm ready to bring some magic and have a chat. I don't have a wine with me. I feel have a water, but I'll have a wine when we finish. We wrap it up.
That's okay. You're having water, which has the what sound in it, so it plays along with the theme of
Beautiful.
It's better than whiskey, I guess. So hey, it's the safer option tonight.
Yeah, exactly right.
So,
Yeah.
Michael, please tell me about your story. So, actually, before then, you have a very impressive story. And the reason I approached you one day, I was just scrolling on the gram and I was just captivated by a magician on Australia's Got Talent. Now, I don't watch TV. I have 3 young kids, but I was just captivated by the message you had performed, if that's what we want to say, on Australia's Got Talent, which I read today has had 50 million views. Wow. And for those who have watched, and I'll put the link of the YouTube channel in the show notes, it pulled many heartstrings. And when I was watching it, I thought, this is why we need to spread the word about disability, communication difficulties, and mental health. The more we talk about it, the more we increase awareness, we reduce stigma, but also create a safe space so individuals that are suffering mental health difficulties can feel comfortable to talk about their challenges. So, before we get started into that aspect, tell me about yourself, Michael, and what led you to Australia's Got Talent.
So I'm a magician, as you have kindly pointed out. I got into the magic game at a fairly young age. Youngest of 6. Oh, well, I have 6 older brothers, so youngest of 7 boys. Yeah, so probably something to do with attention-seeking behaviors and, maybe wanting to sort of, show my mum that I'm there. So I got into, actually, one of my brothers showed me a trick when I was quite young, and I loved it. I've always loved puzzles and riddles and tricking people somehow, I guess, as well as playing cards. Very competitive. So I learned magic when I was 7 or 8. First trick I learned, and then it's always been something I held on to through high school. Lived in the UK when I was 18. Didn't think magic would be a huge part of my life, but loved pulling it out every now and then, just to because I struggled talking to girls. I went, possibly. And these full-time magicians sort of saw me performing at something in front of a student at this school, and they took me under their wing, and yeah, learned a crazy amount of magic in a year while I was in the UK. And fast forward, I've had a real job in finance and quit that, I guess, to do magic full time now for about 7 years full time. And first paid event was yeah, catching up to 20 years ago. So
Wow.
probably about 18 years ago.
Crazy. I just find the skill of magic just so abstract. Like I can't even open up, those tin cans with the tin open. Like that's just so hard for me. So the fact that you can create this magical skill, it just says so much about you as an individual and your drive and your hidden talent. Like it's such a gift. Such a gift.
It's a mix between that, like you're kind of talking about the dexterity part of it, which is very important, and it's somewhere between like 50% of between that and also the storytelling and the holding of the conversation and attention and everything else that you can do. You can be really good at opening that can of soup, but if you're not talking, people are going to watch it and they just feel awkward about it or something. But if you can open it up in a funny way, and then you don't even have to be as perfect at it, everyone's going to have a better time. So I enjoy that part of it as well. I've always into the drama side at school and doing comedy and everything else and meeting people. So it was like the perfect overlap of all these things that I really enjoy.
I love how you've identified what your strengths were. And when I'm working with children with difficulties, it's so important that we encourage parents to start to recognize the skills that these children have, because they're not defined by their difficulties, but they're defined by their abilities. And I guess you are a perfect case of that you were in a different field, but then you went into your magic through this amazing skills that you had, and you've created an amazing career out of it too.
Yeah, and it's so much fun as well. And it's really rewarding because you get to have face to face, like I guess in your line as well, you get to see people's reaction. Some places you can work and you can put all these hours into a report and you don't really get to see the client or see the actual impact you have. You might be a part of a huge team and it's hard to do this, but when you're performing and particularly magic versus even someone who's performing maybe in a band, I'm like that one-on-one, have that conversation with the person straight after it, and I get to see their reaction and their brain tick over. So it's really fun.
Like, how joyful is it when you see their reaction, and it's so authentic and genuine. And I think it just reinforces the importance of connection and really having those intentional interactions with people, because they'll never forget that moment. And I bet my friend Bianca, you just recently performed at their Christmas party, she was just astounded by your performance, that every time I see her, she's like, oh, Mike, 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 Mike. She just keeps referring your name. But how powerful is that, with just that interaction you had with that one person? They'll never forget it.
Yeah, it's like I have people come up to me and say, I still have that card. Like they'll show it to me, and that's like something that I've signed and I've done something to it as a part of a trick, and they just keep it in their bag. They might believe it has a good luck with it, as well as people can quite often recite a magic trick they've seen, not of my own perhaps, but like 20 years ago, like, oh, I remember they would just tell me, they'll go into great detail about a story because it's so different and it's so memorable. So I always, whenever I'm performing, I hear actually a lot that people say, oh, wow, I've never seen magic in person before. Like I've seen it on the internet or something. I always thought people were in on it. So to have it done in my hands, this is really cool. So whenever I'm performing, I think to myself, this could be this person's first time ever seeing magic. And I don't want to send them off a track where they think it's lame or it's silly. So I always give 100% every time I'm performing to someone, because I want them. Sometimes people might see me and go, oh, no, thanks, I don't like magic. And that might be because they've seen something that's like been awkward or uncomfortable for them. So I feel like my job is to convert everybody into liking magic and send them on their way wanting to see more.
What a mission. And I think, could we do some magic tonight? I know you've done some via Zoom before. Could it be possible without my props or anything?
This is unscripted, Probably.
Unscripted, yeah.
There's two ways. If
Okay.
you happen to have a deck of cards somehow with
No.
you, which okay.
No,
I
I
exhibit.
wasn't prepared
This
for
is
that.
proving that this was not scripted. B, I've got another one I could do because I have a deck here that I could give to you.
We can do
Ready?
it later. Let's just. Oh wait. Okay.
We're ready. We don't do later. Wait,
Okay.
we go now. I'm gonna throw this down the camera. You're gonna catch it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Sound effects. Great catch. Impressive stuff. Can you do this?
Nice.
Can you take them out of the box?
What as it pretend as if I have cards or something?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Definitely pretend, but you really got to get into it.
Okay. Oh, you can tell them that I'm a non-believer. So here.
Yeah. So pull them out, slide them out, leave the box, just the box on the table.
Yeah.
And look through the cards and sort of spread through them. Don't show me. And I'm just going to pause here because, believe it or not, this is not a guarantee of this working. And
this is all. Let me just say, this is not. So this is the first time I've met Michael. So
if this doesn't work, we can edit it out. Thank God.
we'll cut it out.
slide one card up, like slide it up as if you're holding on a deck of cards, and pretend you're staring at a card. You've got one in your head now. Like really stare at it, burn it in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, don't make it too easy, like the Queen of Hearts, because that's the card that nearly half people think of. You got a random one?
I've got the number in my head. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Okay. Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah. Oh, and the suit as well. And the suit. And it.
Okay. Yeah. And the color. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So red, heart, diamond are the reds, and clubs and spades are the black. So you've got a value.
Okay, that's just okay. Yep. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I think you were thinking of like a black heart or something. You can't be doing that. That didn't exist.
Yeah, no.
All right, great. You've got a card in your head. Turn it upside down. Shove it in the middle. I won't look. So it's facing, I guess, opposite to the rest of the cards. Mix them up. Shuffle. Sound effects. Nice. And then you had the box just there on the table. I think it was. Can you just put them into the box, and then just make sure the box is up and sort of wind the whole thing here and just throw it down the camera.
Throw it back at you?
Yeah. You do a netball throw. Oh, I wasn't ready for the netball. Great throw. Hell of a throw first up. That was good. I thought you were going to go a baseball one. Anyway, we're here now. We're locked in, actually. I'm going to keep this in frame the whole time.
Okay.
What was that card that you turned over, just so we can't lie and cheat?
It was a diamond.
Okay.
Yeah. Red.
Yes.
Can I say the number?
Definitely. Well, yeah, that completes the package.
4.
4 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Look at this. All of these, so you can see it. See how they're all, I don't know, facing one way?
Yeah.
Except for one. What was that card you said?
4 diamond.
Diamonds.
Red.
Unbelievable.
No. How did that even happen? You must have something there that says it for you to pick it up.
Something that says it to pick it up? What do you even mean?
Yeah, like as in like on the back, it must say that's it while you're looking at it. No, I don't believe it. No. But that was amazing.
I love hearing people's theories because I'm like, what's going on in your head? And
I don't
that's
trust very easily.
Oh, fair play. One in like 50 times, I'm hearing someone, like they're saying crazy things that are impossible, but sometimes someone will just go, oh, maybe it's this. And I listen to it and I go, you know what? It's actually a better way to do it than I do it. So I always love hearing people's little, internal monologues there. You're thinking of a claw that somehow reads it.
In that.
Oh, great.
That was
Me
so
too.
good.
That's the thing. I actually watched, this is a random thought I just had. I watched a video of magicians performing today, and I just saw the magician do this trick to someone, and it was an amazing trick. And the subject like loved it and started laughing, and then so did the magician. Like they were equally laughing. And I'm just like, this is it. Both people, I get just as much fun out of it as the person who sees it. So I guess a pretty good job. Not gonna lie.
Oh, it just brought me so much joy, and I'll never forget that I threw a deck of cards at you and you caught it and you picked the number I was thinking about. Like that's amazing. That's a gift.
It was a good
It was
throw,
really a
to
gift.
be honest. Like I'll take half the credit.
And I'm not very good at throwing. So, hey, but good catch. Good
There's
catch.
the real trick. Yeah.
So see how I described the emotions I experience with that. And that's what motivates you to keep going and really bringing that joy to people. What brought you to Australia's Got Talent? What was your mission behind it?
So I knew that I could mix together a magic trick, like a deck of cards, and tell a story that sometimes might fall flat because I don't know, it's hard to share it with and keep it entertaining. But I knew it was something that the people that needed to hear it would love, and the people that didn't really like know it was important to hear, they're going to fall for the magic part of it. So it like this idea of this is a great way to share a personal story in a way that everyone's going to want to listen to. Just because of the sake of a magic trick, you're going to try and figure out how it's done. It's like it's a trick to like make you listen and watch with all your attention. So
it was
I had this personal story which happened to me. Like I myself went through many parts of life just thinking like this is so fun and happy and easy, and I was just naturally I guess good at things at sport and at school and had lots of friends, and then just a few sort of things happened in my life that made me question, I don't know, my worth. And I got to a point where I remembered crying every day for like months and months and months. And the first day that I didn't, I like told my sister-in-law, and she was like so proud of me. And I had these few things that I couldn't picture anything in the future that would bring me joy. Like it was really strange. I remember telling people this and they just like didn't understand. And I thankfully had a friend or someone I used to work with actually notice a change in me and then suggest I see her own psychologist. And I did that and learned some little tricks on how to just be ready for these episodes, I guess. And I started to do some research and I learned all this data. Then I realized my friends they would do same things, but they never told me. And I was like, how many people actually are in this same boat? Because to me, I thought I was a 1 in a million. And then I started to do some studies and went, wow, this is actually very common. And knowing that other people are in the same boat helps me realize, oh, this isn't that crazy or big of a deal. And like, I can get through this. So then I thought, well, I need to share this story and let people know that, yeah, it's more common than you might think. So how am I going to do that? Through magic. And what's a pretty big platform? Australia's Got Talent's up there with the biggest ways I could do that. So yeah, the stars all aligned to have the opportunity to do that.
For people that have watched the ad, not the ad, the show, you in your card game showed that at the time, I think it was 2022, 3,318 individuals take their own life, and 63 people each. That's 63 people each week, and 20 of those have attempted to. And it's
it's for everyone that did. So it's like every time someone takes their life, there has been 20 attempts before that as well. So it's like not just the amount of people that take lives, the amount of people that have felt the pressure in themselves to even try to do that. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's the leading cause of death in Australia. One of the leading causes. And the fact is, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. And the fact that you mentioned you thought that you were 1 in a million case, but the statistics are much higher.
Yeah. Again, like, so the cards are just such a good way to get through some facts pretty quickly. And 1 in 10 Australians at some point in their life seek professional help on something like this. And then
now we're going to get into
in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. And this is when I work with young kids who have communication difficulties. A part of that is they have trouble expressing themselves, expressing their needs, expressing their feelings. And why I'm so passionate about raising emotional intelligence and encouraging kids to say how they feel and put reasons to it is so they do feel safe and they do feel comfortable to talk about the feelings rather than internalizing and letting that build up over time throughout their life. Now, would you feel comfortable talking about your experiences to led you to then seeing a psychologist?
Well, it was just the idea that I thought I was the only one, and I thought there was a bit of I didn't deserve. That was really it. I didn't deserve to feel bad. So I didn't know anyone else that did. None of my friends did. Why should I? Why should I actually? Because you're using up someone's time. We're lucky in Australia that we get discounted time. What do we say?
For the Medicare, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we're lucky in Australia that we get Medicare discounts, seeing psychologists a certain number of times in a year. And I just thought, I don't deserve that discount. Like, I don't want to be a strain on the public health system. And my friends, I didn't realize that they did because none of us spoke about it. So the fact that older generations didn't do it, and maybe it's guys, I'm not, it seems to be like that. Some of the stats suggest that it's like worse with guys. I don't know why, but yeah, that was my roadblock into actually seeking help myself. And it wasn't until someone really twisted my arm and booked me in and everything that they did those things for me. And I'm, super grateful that they did, that I started to, talk to a professional, and then was encouraged to do some research and did that. And it's like, wow, this is just blows my mind. I'm a numbers guy, and I thought I had a pretty good, pulse on reality and a finger on the pulse. And I just realized that there's a lot more to, people are hiding probably more than they letting on. So wanted to share this thing. Thought maybe this could help some people. And then, as you said at the start, it's particularly in the last 3 months. That's all those views. You said 50 million views. It's had about that in we're now in 2025. Just in a few months, it's had that many views on mainly just only on Instagram as well. So not including anything else. So what that just suggests that it's probably an ongoing thing. And I actually really want to learn it in another language. That's something I want to do. I want to go do the whole thing in Spanish and go to Spain's Got Talent. Because I think there's people in parts of the world that could help hearing the same story, and they can't understand it. So why not do it in more ways than one?
You're on a good thing there, Mike. You really, really are. And the fact that you've created such a platform to raise awareness in just 2 minutes or 3 minutes of the show has such a profound impact, and has, even when I was looking at the YouTube comments and what people would say, that this saved me, this made me contact Beyond Blue, or this made me start talking to someone, that in itself says so much about your message. So thank you for doing that.
I appreciate that. The messages are, it's blows my mind the amount that I like. There's a lot of public facing ones as well, but I get a lot of private ones that they're pretty, sometimes they're heavy as well, but sometimes they're very, they let me know that, this thing is I've done something to help people. And one of the most simple lines that someone said was, if you can tell the world, I can tell my friends. And I was like, that's just like a good wrap up of what this whole thing was for.
So beautiful. Love it. And I hope that the Spanish thing does happen for you. I wanted to ask, what age did you start feeling those emotions where you felt like, I'm not worthy of accessing those services? Was it when you were outside of your joy bubble of being a magician and when you're in the trade aspect? Is that where it all started, or even younger?
So I started, like, let's say my first magic gig and learning it all, I was 19, 20, 21 and top of the world, couldn't pull me down, had this great job. And now it wasn't really until I was mid to late 20s that a few things sort of happened, and I just started to get into a spiral and just went, this all sucks. So looking at some of the comments and stuff that people write to me, it's that, like, there's plenty of cases where it's a lot younger than that and a lot older. So there is nothing that means, like, I guess I was lucky that it's, I started a bit later. But one of the big things I always think about is, if you can get through something like that, you come out so much wiser and stronger and more interesting and more useful to people that are going through stuff. So it's, in a weird way, like, it's a gift if you can power through it, because you've just got, there's extra experiences under your belt that, me on the trajectory that I was at in my early 20s would never have been able to relate to it, and probably never, friends wouldn't have confided in me like they do now, which is like such an honor when they ask for my help or opinions on things. So it's cool. It's a cool experience to have if you can get through it.
Yeah. I think I read on the internet yesterday, it's quite common between the ages of 15 and 49 or 44.
Yeah, that's the stat. That's the stat that was, like, suicide's leading cause of death for Australians between 15 and 44. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and we mentioned that it's more prevalent with men. Why do you feel, as a man yourself, do you feel that's the case?
Yeah, I don't, like, maybe it's to do with the idea that you have to be a tough guy, and then therefore you can't talk about it. And then if you can't talk about it, you quickly just see only one way out of it. Because that's really, I'm not sure if it, like, let's just say you get into, like, a depressive state. I don't know whether that happens more prevalently with males and females, but it might be like, how do you get through that? And then if the way to get through that is, like, one of the best ways is through conversations with people, and then possibly that's when the divide really starts. And, like, for whatever reason, males think that they can't say that they're sad or whatever it might be, that they have to be tough and, suck it up. So that might be the reason why the numbers are, sort of significantly skewed towards males taking their own lives, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it does come back down to the stigma that's associated with being a man, and the aspect of being vulnerable and talking about it is not masculine, and therefore they don't feel comfortable because of those associations. But the fact is that more people, men, are talking about it, and famous people too, in our media and in our political life. The more we talk about it, the more we have, like what you experience. If you could tell the world, then I feel comfortable to tell my friend, and then the friend can then lead them to the right services that they would need.
Yeah, and in my performance on the Got Talent show, I got a few cards made up with Ian Thorpe's face and Julia Gillard's face, and there's a few, like, Australian royalty, and used a royal flush to bring that in. Royalty that told their stories, and I listened to and read about, and it made me feel like, oh, these people who are these stars are actually just like me, and therefore we all go through this, and it's okay to feel the way we feel. So then I just wanted to pay it forward by doing the same thing.
I think that's amazing. And again, thank you for something that you experience, and you've just supported so millions, I bet, individuals out there that are suffering some mental health challenges at the moment. Now, for anyone listening and you have any concerns, you can contact the Lifeline number on 13 11 14. 13, 11, 14, if you have any concerns and want to talk to somebody, it's easily accessible for you. And I think they even have a chat system now online.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff with them, and I've done
Ah,
a few. I haven't accepted, like I haven't done the training to get the calls. Like it's crazy how much training Lifeline does. But I've done some of their trainings just about like they coach business leaders and managers for companies to come in and just like be better at dealing with conversations and spotting things. So I've gone in for a few of those courses as a participant as well, and I'm grateful for what they do and have used their services as a caller myself. So love their stuff.
yeah. So you access like services like Lifeline, Beyond Blue initially, and then you went and saw a psychologist. What was your intervention journey like?
Yeah, I remembered, when was I starting? Like I definitely I saw the psychologist first, and that was just because I thought I shouldn't need help. Again, I suppose I thought I didn't deserve to be, not only deserve to like see someone, but like deserve to be sad. I don't know why it was that. It's because I had so many fortune things in my life.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even convince myself that I was depressed. I remember when the doctor said it, I actually struggled to write down the words to tell like someone the results from what the doctor said, because I just like, this isn't right. It can't be me. So that was the first thing, and again, that was because someone booked it for me. That's how stubborn I would have been back then. Which I don't want anyone listening to be that way at all. But I hope that them hearing that people do, benefit a lot from that, and a lot of people use their services. Everybody uses their services. 1 in 10 Australians, that they will be encouraged to do so. But yeah, I've spoken to them since then, and yeah, they're great. Yeah. Fortunately, in more recent times, I've done so much work on myself, and reading a lot of books and just finding out what makes me feel good, and been fortunate with a loving partner and everything that's changed in the last few years. So yeah, things are good.
Thank you for your vulnerability. I know how hard it can sometimes be to talk on such a platform and to be so exposed, especially when you know how hard it is when you say it's not fair for you to talk because everything is amazing around you, and you don't deserve to feel sad. But the message is that everyone has a voice and everyone has a story, regardless of your background history or your current situation. You are entitled to say how you feel, because that's how you were made.
Yeah, exactly. You not only say it, but just to feel however you feel. Like maybe there's people who feel in the other way, where they feel joy and they somehow convince themselves they're not worthy of it, and they try and rein that in. But yeah, everybody should have the ability to take the whole spectrum of feelings and then own it.
Yeah, yeah. Could you give any advice to anyone that would be listening if they're currently feeling the same emotions that you felt? What would you tell them?
Something along the lines of, like, if I would try to remind them, if someone comes to you and asks for your advice, it's not like a burden. It's not like, oh God, here she or he comes again. It's not like that. It's even more the opposite way, where you feel honored that they've trusted in your opinion, and you've given them a gift to to share their wisdom. So remembering something like that made me realize, and I reminded myself that when I'm actually going to my brother or friend or whoever it might be to talk about something, I am not a chore, I'm not a burden. Like, I'm actually honoring them somehow by, talking to them and asking for their help. So I think if you can remind yourself of that, then that should ease the barrier in like starting a conversation with someone.
I love that, Michael. I think that is, it just pulled my some of my heart there. Like, you are not a burden. And that's such a heavy weight that people carry, that they feel that they're a nuisance to people and that their emotions or their feelings are not valid. But again, every emotion is valid. Every feeling is welcomed in that safe space for you to feel better. How did you feel once you started treatment? Did you feel like a big weight was lifted off your shoulder and you were able to see the joy in life again?
Oh, it definitely took some time. Like I probably had times when I thought this is a waste of money or something, and or I would sometimes like leave the session feeling a lot worse than I did when I got there, and I thought this is bad, therefore. But it wasn't until over time and like stepping back that I was eventually like, it was making me better and wiser and more privy to like what are the triggers and like how do I tell myself the right things to like, yeah, to bring myself out of the dark stuff. So it wasn't straight away, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, which is probably why people maybe do try it once or twice and then don't see it's for them. And it might not be, but I'd hope that, you know, you really give it a really good crack, because it's, if you see the right person, it's pretty good.
I always tell my patients when I'm supporting their child's development, it always feels worse before it feels better, because when we're creating change, you're naturally going to think, this is a waste. I'm not seeing the results that I'm expecting. So again, you're going against your expectations and your beliefs. But also, when you are trying to create change, you're going to get resistance from the norm that you're in. But it's that consistency and perseverance and belief that it will all be better is what gets you over that yucky hump, is what I call.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it came through me as well. So yeah, I agree.
Michael, again, this has been a wonderful episode where we're able to talk about emotions, mental health, and accessing the right services to support you, but also how we are able to find, when you have joy in what you do, you just do it so well, which is what you've done for your career. With Wine with Wita, before we finish up, I always ask my guests, if you were to apply one word today to be a better version of yourself tomorrow, what word will it be?
Contact. Oh, I wanted to say family, and then I somehow was like, I didn't call my mum today. What am I doing? I haven't spoken to anyone in my family today. Somehow a word that means call my family, chat to them, say hi.
Connection.
Connection. Yeah, contact. Connection's much better. Be more connective with the people that I couldn't live without.
Yeah. Beautiful. And what a wonderful way that we have celebrated the concept of connection through joy, through your work, but also through vulnerability and being open. Now, Michael, how can people access you if they want to see your magic work? Where can people go?
Best is Instagram, and just search Magic Mike, and just search that if you want to, stay up late watching male dancers. But if you want to see that people getting that, they're starting to type my name and then they just stop and get distracted, or include the words "not a stripper" as well, and you'll find me on Instagram, and then you can otherwise Google it, and then you'll find my website, and links are all there through there. But yeah, some fun videos. You'll see the AGT performance, but you'll see some other stuff. Love guessing people's phones passcodes. That's always a fun little trick to do at events.
Do you have to do that in front of people? Like, can you do that now? It's too tricky now.
Yeah, sort of need there's a lot of backup options.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. But I can tell you that I don't know their code at all before I do it. It's not like I need them to see them do it and then I just tell them. I usually get people to come up on, like, I'll be on a stage and I'll throw out a frisbee and I'll get that person to come up, and then they might say, "Oh, how about you guess my Commonwealth Bank code instead?" And I go, "Okay." Let's
Don't
do
say
that.
that out
Sounds
loud on
real
a
fun.
stage. No, no.
Well, they've challenged me. There's people who do that and then they go like, "Don't say it." Well, you asked me to do it, so it's fun.
I think they're just non-believers as well. They're like, I'll give you the worst case example, and if you do it, then it's going to
Start to
bite me
do
up
it,
the
they're like,
ass, isn't
"Shit."
it?
Yeah. So
And just
but
as a record, my friend had Mike at her Christmas party, as I said earlier, and she has spoken wonders. So if you want Mike to perform at a wedding, at an event, it's all on his website where you can contact him to bring the joy to your next event that you may have.
yeah, this is not a sales pitch, but it's just such it works at every event, really. You just go around,
Yeah.
break the ice, do the magic in people's hands. It's so much fun. I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad that you have found something that has given you so much purpose, joy in all aspects of your life. And thank you again, Michael, for coming on Wine with Wita. And if anyone's experiencing any mental health challenges, please do reach out to Lifeline on 13 11 14. Or as Michael said, you are not a burden. Communicate to someone you feel safe and you can trust too. So thank you again, everybody, for coming on Wine with Wita. And I look forward to bringing you another magical episode next time. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Wita. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.